Hello everyone. I thought today we would do a very loose pagan, Druid, Wiccan, whatever you want to call it, festival. And the festival falls either on the 1st or the 2nd of August, depending on the calendar, and it's the first harvest festival. It's called Lughnasadh or Lammas and is named after the Irish god Lugh, the god of fire and light. So it's a time when we reap what we have sowed, a time of joy, and it is the beginning of the autumn season. It was a time when the tribes got together and much business was done. Tithes were paid, couples were betrothed or hand-fasted, and games and feasting took place. It is a time of death and rebirth, a time to recognize that the height of summer is over and autumn is beginning. The time of the sacrificial mating of the goddess and John barley corn. The corn king was sacrificed and he lay down with his goddess. It's also the time signified of the tale of Taliesin, who changes himself into a grain of corn to escape the goddess Ceridwen, who in turn shapeshifts into a big black hen and gobbles him up. That was at Imbolc, which is her festival, and it is solitary at Imbolc, but now at the end of the year, Lughnasadh is the beginning of the crone season, and we celebrate this time with family and friends before we take a quieter time of the year and retreat into our homes. At this time you may like to do the following things: perhaps bake a Lammas loaf and celebrate with friends and family. Go for a walk and look how nature is changing. Making a corn dolly, that's traditional at this time, and even dancing, a movement meditation. And if you can, going to a field of corn and sitting there and visualizing the corn in your inner eye. Okay, so now I've explained the festival of Lughnasadh, we shall start the meditation. Okay, so first of all I'm going to give you this red jasper and bloodstone just to hold or put at your feet, keeping you grounded to Mother Earth. And then we're just going to cleanse and clear, shifting anything that does not serve you anymore. Clear it, get rid of it, recognize it, and let it go. And breathe out. Now I'd just like you to grow your roots down into the earth. They grow down and down and down through the earth and past the rocks, down into the crystalline and mineral pools that your body instinctively knows that you need. Just giving you a good foundation from which to work from. And I'm actually going to create a sacred circle around us all with this hazel wand. I'm calling the guardians of our circle so as to make this a liminal space, devoid of space and time. Okay. So breathe in Call in your guides and helpers, even if you don't know who they are. And we call upon the guardians of the north and ask for your protection. We call in the guardians of the east and ask for your protection. We call in the guardians of the south and ask for your protection. And we call in the guardians of the west and ask for your protection. Grandfather Sky, we ask for your protection. And Grandmother Earth, we ask for your protection. And I would just like you now to visualize yourself in southern England, in Wiltshire, the place of corn circles and hinges and standing stones, long and round barrows. Just imagine yourself now walking along a pathway, a well-trodden pathway called the Ridgeway, which stretches from the south of England all the way up to Wales. And we're in a big procession all together. And time is falling away from us. We're going to visit the tribes at this, the last of their summer festivals and the start of autumn. And there are many people along this ridgeway, and either side of you are meadows with the grasses probably at shin height and the wildflowers. And they're all starting to lose their lustre now, getting a bit yellow after their hard work of growing for the year. The sun is beating down, and there are many people on this road with us, driving their cattle, pigs and sheep, chattering, and excitement is mounting as they head towards the great hinge of Avebury. And as we walk along this ridgeway, we look down upon avenues of standing stones, and ahead of us are little bumps, little mounds, which are the round barrows of the Bronze Age chieftains, and they had themselves buried here so that they can look down upon the sacred avenue of stones. And to the right and the left, the patchwork quilt of England stretches out of this, the bread basket of the land. John Barleycorn is being winnowed and cut down. He's grown his beard now, and he's looking old. And breathe out for me. If you're lucky, you may even catch sight of a crop circle. But as we walk along the ridgeway, we come to a henge called the Sanctuary. And from here, we all enter the circle. and we walk around it once, creating the circle of life in the calendar of the year. And here we pay our respects to the ancestors. And then we exit the circle, just cutting down a little bit southwest, following the well-trodden path along the Winterbourne stream. And we walk through avenues of standing stones marking the ley line. We can hear the noise of insects and bees and butterflies still busy at their day. You can hear some of the cattle and sheep as they are kept in pens along the Winterbourne so they can get their water. And the old forge just lies south. And we keep walking, following the crowds. And then we cut north, following the avenue of stones, treading upon this hallowed ley line. Some of the members start singing and dancing along the way, children running to and fro, dogs barking, women talking, and men driving the horses or oxen with their belongings on. And the ley line meanders, and on the left side as we look, we catch a glimpse of the startling white chalk top of Silbury Hill Mound, England's answer to the pyramids. Possibly built to reach the stars as they started to disappear below the horizon. And there are many tribes and many people gathering at this time of Lughnasadh. And we keep walking across the buttercups and the clover, and through the shin-high grass, and we slightly go up an incline, and then in front of us are the great mounded 3-meter plus walls of chalk gleaming in the sun, which enclose the huge henge of Avebury, which is over a mile wide. And we enter through 2 huge diamond-shaped stones of the southern gateway. There are oak and sycamore trees, looking a bit tired now, their leaves starting to crisp up, a bit wind-burnt. And inside are about 8 or 9 huge standing stones, almost in a semicircle, and lots of other littler stones, planted they look, at different distances. As we enter the gateway, there is an old Druid sitting in an enclave in one of the diamond stones, and he greets you. People give him offerings as they enter, because this is a sacred temple. It is so big, though, that there are lots of different areas to go into. semicircles of stones, altar stones, and trees all around. There are lots of crows and ravens here pecking at the grass, and a skylark rises and sings the angry song, "Mind my nest, mind my nest, mind my nest." And we now come to the centre of the circle, where there is a circle of people around a fire. And the chief Druid here will have his antlers on his head. And he lights a candle in honour of Lu and places it on the altar stone. He then addresses the crowd. We stand here in this space between the physical and the spiritual. We welcome the energies, guides, helpers, fae and the ancestors. We also welcome the corn god Lu and his consort, the goddess, into our Lughnasdaha circle. Here at our Lammas celebration, we stand on the eve of harvest and welcome in the season of winter. We start to reap what we have sown and prepare for the winter. It is a time of death and of rebirth, when John Barleycorn is cut down to lie with his goddess, and we celebrate their and our fertility. We give thanks and ask for blessings in the dark half of the year as we prepare our harvest. And then the mead is offered around the circle. Blessings upon you as you take a sip. And this is a symbol of the Arwen. And then the Lammas loaf is offered around. And take a piece now. Blessings upon you. Shall have mine in a minute. And then the Eisteddfod starts. The bards may start to sing and dance, and anyone with a poem or a silver tongue can speak. So I'll just leave you for a few moments now, whilst I send you some healing. Just to have a look around. There may be some familiar faces to you, or it all may be completely new. Chwaith. Chwert. Gort. Muin. somebody steps out and distributes gifts around the circle. And when you get yours, if you are unsure of what it is, you may ask the gift bearer. And you then thank the gift bearer and step back from the circle. One of the Druids comes up to you now and thanks you for coming, saying they have been waiting for you for a very long time. And they tell you that even though these festivals are very old, they have meaning in today's world. The year still follows the same cycles of winter, spring, summer, autumn. And even though life has changed for you, the feelings and thoughts and worries and anxieties are still very much the same that they experienced all those years ago. And the Druid makes the symbol of quirt, apple, to bring you happiness and health. And then the Druid makes the symbol of moon, the blackberry or the vine. And then he makes the symbol of Oyer, the spindle, to help you for good tools and good things that you need to do your work. And finally, the symbol of Gort, ivy, a late source of nectar for insects and birds, and to bind to you anything that you wish, as long as it's not hurting others. And he makes these symbols just one more time, so that you've had them imprinted to you 3 times. Quartz, Muin, healing of plants and trees. Where and Gort. He then puts his hands on your shoulders just to send the energy grounding and clearing and preparing you for winter all the way down your body. Breathe out. it is time to say goodbye to the tribes for all of us modern day people. And we take our leave and walk back through the giant diamond stones and out of the chalk white banks and back into the stone avenue. And we head back south, feeling a little bit calmer and feeling a bit more ready for the autumn and the dark part of the winter that is to come. You may even be feeling revitalized after this, or you could just be feeling very relaxed. We make our way past the summit of the gleaming white Silbury Hill mound, which is to our right now as we head south, and the ley line meanders, the diamond and phallus-shaped stones marking its boundaries, and then we turn east back along the Winterbourne stream towards the old forge, and then we cut up again and walk back up the hill towards the sanctuary henge, stopping and walking widdershins this time backwards around the circle, remembering our ancestors, the collective ancestors, and then out and back onto the ridgeway where we start heading southwards, back past a lot of long barrows, East Kennet long barrow crowned with all the trees, and back down to the Giant's Barrow and over the Pusey Vale, through the cornlands and the breadbasket of England. We also passed a carving of a white horse, and there's a pub here, and we'll go and sit in its garden now and bring ourselves back to today, and let the scene of southern England fade away, imagining yourself at the barge inn, perhaps eating a scrumptious dinner to ground yourself afterwards. And breathe out. I thank you for joining this Lughnasadh journey, meeting the Celtic tribes and enjoying just a very short Celtic reiki healing with the Om sticks. And I wish you and your families peace, healing, tranquility, and lots of love. Bye-bye now.